My husband and I have been trying to conceive for 3 years without a single success, until one day, I was taking folic acid in front of my best friend who is a doctor. She snatched the medicine from me, felt something was off, and ground it into powder. This isn't folic acid at all, it's birth control pills. I followed my best friend's advice and sent these pills to an institution for testing. It turns out I had been taking birth control pills for 3 years. All these pills were given to me by Fang Jishu. Every time before we had sex, he would coax me into taking one. Just as I was about to confront him with the test results, I received a message from our mutual friend group sent by Luna Chu. The image shows a pregnancy test with 2 red to purple lines. Honey, let's make a bet. Should I have a little Jishu or a little Luna? I bet on little Jishu. 2 minutes later, she pretended to be shy again. Sorry everyone, sent to the wrong person. Can't unsend it, just pretend you didn't see it. I let out a cold, bitter laugh, but finally let go of the moral burden in my heart, replying to the unresolved feelings from my youth. In a month, I'll go with you. The group fell into a moment of complete silence. Later, someone spoke up and asked, "Congratulations, truly, when did you two get married? Why didn't you say anything? We could have come to celebrate with drinks." Someone in the group initiated a payment transfer with the note wedding gift money. Everyone quickly followed with their own transfers. Luna Chu shyly sent 2 embarrassed emojis. Thank you all for your blessings, but please don't make a fuss, just pretend you didn't see it. How can we not use it? Even though we weren't invited to the wedding banquet, we shouldn't forget the friendship between friends. That's right, you and our Shu have finally come together after all the difficulties. As friends, we still want to offer our blessings. This group chat consists of Fang Jishu's close friends from his university days. After we got our marriage certificate, he added me to this group. These are all my friends, it would be good for you to meet them. When they asked Fang Jishu who he had brought along, Fang Jishu simply said, "A friend, if it's a friend, introduce them. Let's set up our single buddies." Only then did Fang Jishu fall silent, and I followed suit in silence. I've been lurking in this group the whole time. At that time, Luna Chu even snapped at them. Don't act so desperate every time you see a woman. If you want it, go find it yourself. The Fang and Guan families are both prominent households, and the parents have always wanted to arrange a grand wedding. But Fang Jishu always said, right now, I'm at a critical stage in my career. I don't even have time to plan an ordinary wedding, let alone a grand one. Let's talk about it later. This delay dragged on for 5 years. I have long stopped holding out hope for a grand wedding. It's fine if there is one, and it's also fine if there isn't. Fang Jishu's friends still don't know that he is married, let alone that he didn't marry Luna Chu, who was considered the perfect match for him back in school. The messages in the group kept coming, and my phone, held tightly in my hand, remained lit up. I stared coldly at the screen, my tears and soul detached, falling one after another. But I didn't know how to vent the pain and resentment in my heart. There was a moment when I hoped Fang Jishu would say in the group that this was just a rumor, but they remained active until the end, while the male lead, who was being frantically tagged by everyone, showed no response at all. Luna Chu accepted the red envelope. Thank you, everyone. Let's consider it a welcome gift for the child. Once the baby is born, we'll invite the brothers to get together again. Everyone must come to show your support then, and thank you all on behalf of the baby in my belly. Tilda. From Luna Chu's tone, it seems they've made up their minds to have the baby. Feeling suffocated, I opened the window for some fresh air. Standing on the balcony, I took deep breaths of the outside air, feeling as if my heart was about to suffocate. After letting the cold wind blow on me for a while, I calmed down, took a screenshot of the group chat, and quietly left. I was still sitting in the corner of the balcony, lost in thought, when Fang Jishu unexpectedly came home early. He pulled me up from the floor and closed the window. In the dead of winter, sitting on the floor with the window wide open, aren't you afraid of getting diarrhea? I stared at him steadily. He seemed to be earnestly tidying my clothes, yet I couldn't shake the feeling that the person before me felt somewhat unfamiliar, not like before. Is it because he did something wrong? And he knows he should feel guilty. I felt a bit repulsed, shifted my body slightly, and avoided his hand. Don't touch me. He was taken aback for a moment before daring to meet my eyes. His gaze seemed to label me as a scoundrel, and he said lightly, "It's because of that incident in the group chat, isn't it? Fei Guan, didn't we agree before marriage that we just needed to fulfill our parents' wishes? Now they are quite content with our current situation, and so am I. What is it that you're not satisfied with? My marriage with Fang Jishu is without affection, all forced by circumstances. The Guan and Fang families have been close friends for generations. I went abroad for studies during middle school, while Fang Jishu remained in the country. The relationship between the two of them is far worse than that of their parents' generation. They simply don't keep in touch. After I returned from completing my studies, both sets of parents went to great lengths to try to get us together. They even resorted to emotional blackmail, saying, 'The two of you being together is the best choice. We've paved a smooth, broad road for you, yet you insist on taking the unconventional path. I'm telling you, I will never agree to that boyfriend you're seeing outside, unless your father and I are dead.' During that period, they focused all their attention on us. They took away our bank cards and phones, stationed many bodyguards outside the door, who did nothing but watch me and Fang Jishu. I had no choice but to break up with my boyfriend, fulfilling my parents' wishes. Just before getting our marriage certificate, Fang Jishu said coldly, 'We can be considered comrades in arms, as long as we satisfy them. That's enough, don't take anything else seriously.' I knew he only had eyes for Luna Chu, but I never imagined he would cheat so openly, and to prevent me from getting pregnant. He had been feeding me birth control pills for 3 years, although it was fake from the start. 5 years of feelings. Saying I'm not sad would be a lie. Saying I'm not disgusted would also be a lie. I asked him, 'So you want to keep this child?' As soon as the words left my mouth, I already knew the answer. If she didn't get Fang Jishu's permission, Luna Chu wouldn't accept everyone's red envelopes. She wouldn't dig a hole for herself to jump into. Fang Jishu gritted his teeth and said, 'Fei Guan, I want a child.' I couldn't help but slap him across the face. Everything became so laughable. My laughter and tears burst out together. I walked into the bedroom. The drug test report was still lying on the table. The hospital's diagnostic report was also there. I angrily took them out and threw the report in Fang Jishu's face. 'Fang Jishu, see for yourself. The folic acid you gave me is actually birth control pills, isn't it?' He suddenly became somewhat flustered, holding the 2 reports and looking them over repeatedly. His voice trembled slightly. 'Fei Guan, you've been feeding me birth control pills for 3 years, and now you tell me you want a child. If you absolutely must have a child with Luna Chu, you could have just told me properly. I would have helped you keep it from our parents. Instead of disguising birth control pills as folic acid and tricking me into taking them, I can accept almost anything, but I cannot accept you hurting me.' Looking back now, the 5 years of marriage with Fang Jishu feel somewhat unreal. Apart from treating each other with respect most of the time, there were also moments when we both got carried away. Sometimes after drinking, he would cling to me, calling out repeatedly, 'Darling, do you think life is happy? I think it's very happy.' Then he held me even tighter. I went to make him some sobering soup, but he held me back and wouldn't let me, saying, 'Nothing is a better sobering remedy than having you by my side. Just stay with me a little longer.' At first, I didn't know if he was mistaking me for someone else, but as time went by, I gladly accepted it and willingly embraced the scent of alcohol on him. He would occasionally give me little romantic gestures. During holidays, he would charm both sets of parents perfectly. He would often be at my house, holding my waist, and say, 'Don't worry, Mom and Dad, Faye is doing great. The best thing I ever did was marry her.' Even though I always feel like he's just acting well, but at times like these, I always have this illusion that Fang Jishu and I are truly destined to spend our lives together. Even if not as lovers, then as family. He is actually so heartless, to the point of watching me take birth control pills for 3 years without saying a word. If Ching Ching hadn't found out, I would have kept taking them. His hand holding the report trembled slightly, his gaze distant, his voice seemed to be squeezed from his throat. 'I was afraid you would be sad. I won't eat it anymore.' Just 2 short sentences, with no apology or concern. Instead, it's evasion after making a mistake. I sneered. Was he afraid of making me sad? Or was he afraid that after telling me the truth, he wouldn't get what he wanted? Fang Zhishu's selfishness and hypocrisy are overflowing. I just feel disgusted. Fang Zhishu, you make it sound so easy. Do you know how painful it was when I thought it was my own problem and was so anxious I couldn't sleep? I slowly took the hospital diagnosis from his hand and pointed at the result. The doctor said I've been taking too many birth control pills, and the hormones in my body are already disrupted, which could very likely lead to infertility. You only want to have a child with the person you love, but have you ever considered that I should also have the right to be a mother? Are you satisfied now? From now on, you won't need to feed me pills, and it will be very difficult for me to get pregnant anyway. My voice became choked with emotion, and my tears fell even more heavily than before. My body trembled slightly, moved by the tears. But we have no future. Fang Zhishu, I hate you. After the drug's ingredients were identified, I immediately went to the hospital to get myself checked out, just to be safe. Everything was so starkly real. I hadn't escaped the harm those drugs had caused me. When the doctor said that it would be difficult for me to get pregnant in the future, I began to hate Fang Zhishu. Now, my hatred for Fang Zhishu has reached its peak. I will never forgive him. I entered the bedroom and locked the door. Just as the computer screen lit up, Wu Leikik has sent me another message. He has been waiting for me abroad for a long time. Ever since we officially parted ways, he has been sending me an email every week. Now the email has arrived as promised, and I hastily wiped the tears from my face. Summon your courage and go read that email. Inside is a blurry photo of a black hole. Observed another collapsing star today. Faye, how have you been lately? Miss you a lot. After I retire, to keep from turning into a sorrowful black hole myself, I will definitely return home to stay by your side. It's just too far away, and missing you is breaking my heart. Wu Leku grew up abroad and always has a touch of the dry humor typical of foreigners. Over the past 5 years, the files he sent me have piled up like a mountain, taking over my entire inbox. I've backed up all the photos he took of me and the sweet words he said, always afraid they might disappear over time, but I have never replied to him, for so long. It has been his one-man show, because unlike Fang Zhishu, I know I am married and have my own sense of propriety and integrity. I always thought that with time, Wu Leik would gradually let go of me, but he hasn't. I sat here, quietly browsing through the old letters. Memories flooded my mind, and for a second, 2 conflicting voices were battling inside my heart. When my phone chimed with a notification, I realized that Fang Zhishu had transferred 10 million into my account, along with a message. I was in the wrong about this matter. This is my compensation to you. As I stared at the 10 million in compensation, unable to ease my hatred, I finally realized that for the rest of my life, I needed to live for myself. I've figured it out, and I feel a bit excited. I replied to Wu Leku's email. It's not far, wait for me a month, and I'll go with you. Since the argument with Fang Zhishu, we have tacitly agreed to sleep in separate rooms. I sleep in the master bedroom, and he sleeps in the guest room, but when I get up at night, I often see the empty spare bedroom with its door open, probably staying over at Luna Chu's place, but I no longer need to care about where he spends the night. I packed up all my belongings from the bedroom and slowly arranged for them to be shipped overseas, where Wu Leku would receive them. One day, Fang Zhishu bought me a gift. It was the phoenix crown I had stood in front of the counter and admired for a long time. He also, for the first time ever, brought out the red wine he had been treasuring for ages and cooked a whole table of dinner for me. Fei Guan, Grandpa's birthday is in a few days. Can we stop arguing for now? It was all for the sake of both families' reputations. After all, at such grand occasions, we were used to putting on an act. I replied, sure. Ever since Grandpa turned 70, his birthdays have always been grand celebrations. We went to the best restaurant in all of Shanghai, filling the entire place with people, my family, Fang Zhishu's family, and many business partners and friends. Before entering, Fang Zhishu reached out his hand to me, and as usual, I took it. He pried my fingers apart and firmly intertwined them with his. No matter how hard I struggled, it only made my knuckles ache. Once he saw I had settled down, he smiled contentedly and only then stepped through the restaurant's entrance. Luna Chu has also arrived. She is busy helping the Fang family with various tasks. The smile on Fang Jishu's face instantly vanished, revealing a trace of unease in his eyes. During the gathering, the perennial topic of urging childbirth was once again directed at me. My mom and mother-in-law were going back and forth. Are you two lying to us? It's been 5 years since you got married. And you've been trying to conceive for 3 years. Why is there still no news? Shouldn't you two go get a checkup? They must get checked. We'll schedule them for a checkup tomorrow. I want to see what they're up to. My smile froze on my face, and as I thought of what Fang Jishu had done, tears welled up in my eyes again. I lowered my head and gently wiped away that tear with my little finger. Forcing a smile, I poured a glass of wine and said, "Come on, today is Grandpa's birthday. Let's not talk about this. I wish Grandpa boundless happiness and longevity like the East Sea and the Southern Mountains." My mother-in-law took away my wine glass. "We appreciate Grandpa's kind gesture, but you're trying to get pregnant right now, so you can't drink." "Ashu, you can't drink either." Luna Chu patted her belly, a clever glint in her eyes, then directly took my mother-in-law's hand and placed it on her stomach. "Auntie, Fei Guan isn't pregnant, but I am." Everyone at the table looked awkward for a moment. She glanced at me and said, "What I mean is, you will definitely get to hold your grandson. Who knows, you might even get to hold two. Ashu is in such good health, so you can just set your mind at ease." I glanced at Fang Jishu, and his previously furrowed brows immediately relaxed, his gaze towards Luna Chu filled with happy affection. Luna Chu poured me a glass of wine. "Fei Guan, you must have been scared just now. It's all my fault. I can't keep my mouth shut. Please don't mind." She raised her glass. "I want to apologize to you. Although you're trying to conceive, it's been 3 years without success, so a little drink shouldn't matter, right?" I don't look at her, nor do I respond to her, yet she just keeps holding it like that. Fang Jishu anxiously snatched the wine glass from Luna Chu. "You're pregnant. Why are you drinking alcohol? Be careful with the baby in your belly." "Fei Guan, someone is apologizing to you. It's impolite not to drink, isn't it?" The mother-in-law wanted to say something, but Fang Jishu interrupted. "Mom, you don't need to think of her as that delicate. As the daughter-in-law of the Fang family, you should at least have some manners. Besides, Luna is right. Haven't we been trying to conceive for 3 years without success? Having a drink is fine. Why are you so nervous?" I don't know where Fang Jishu got the nerve to bring this up. He made me so angry I was trembling, and I could only pinch my own thigh to keep myself from losing control. "Anyway, I'm leaving today. As long as I endure this, it will all be worth it." I forced back my emotions and managed a smile at Luna Chu. "I won't blame you. Even if this child is Fang Jishu's, I won't blame you." I raised my glass and drank it all in one go. Luna Chu's expression turned somewhat awkward. The gathering was finally about to end, and Fang Jishu went to see Luna Chu off. After returning home, I took my ID card and hailed a taxi to the airport. All that was left for Fang Jishu was a divorce agreement. Before the plane took off, I sent the saved chat records to the family group chat. "Luna Chu's child is Fang Jishu's. I want to divorce him." After sending the message, I turned off my phone. I slept peacefully on the plane. The plane landed at 7 a.m. the next day in the United States. Wu Leek was waiting for me at the exit, even after all these years. It feels like we were together just yesterday, and his appearance hasn't changed at all. He is very tall, with distinct facial features and handsome looks. Instead, the added sense of maturity and stability makes him even more likable. He stands out in a crowd. I spotted him at a glance. I quietly slipped behind him and tapped his shoulder. The moment he turned around, a smile spread across his face, and he pulled me into a tight embrace. We held each other for a long time before reluctantly letting go. Wu Lek gave me a glance, the smile on his face gradually fading as the tip of his nose turned half red. He cried with heartache, "Fei, it's been so many years since we last met. You've lost weight." He pinched my cheek. "Come on. I've invited many friends from our school days. They're all waiting for you at my place." I turned on my phone, ready to let my parents know I was safe. The family group chat has already exploded with over 99 unread messages. Fang Jishu's messages are also quickly flooding the screen, making my WeChat a bit laggy. I didn't open the group messages to read them. What they're saying no longer matters. My mind is made up, and I must break free. I said I would never go back, no matter what. I swiped the chat box to the left and deleted the entire conversation. But I opened Fang Jishu's chat window not because I couldn't bear to let go, but because I wanted to know if he had signed the divorce agreement. I scrolled to the top, and his first message was, "Fei Guan, I will never divorce you, don't even think about it." He tore the divorce agreement into shreds and sent me a picture of it. The floor was covered with scattered fragments, a whole page. All his voice messages. "Fei Guan, before we got married, we agreed to fulfill our parents' wishes. We've been putting on an act for 5 years now, how can you just decide to stop playing along? Fei Guan, you're not playing by the rules, you left, leaving me to deal with this mess all by myself. I'll go to your house every day to block you. You can't just not come home, right?" His voice grew increasingly agitated, and I couldn't be bothered to listen to the rest of the voice message, so I exited out. Fang Jishu's call came through at that moment. I hesitated for a second, then rejected it. He seemed to have gone mad, hitting one after another. I had no choice but to remove the SM card from my phone. I casually threw it into a trash can. I had an incredibly fun night with Wu Leku. My friends left as if by tacit agreement before midnight, leaving just the two of us alone. We opened our hearts to each other, emboldened by the wine. We drank one bottle of red wine after another. I hadn't indulged in drinking so freely since we started preparing for pregnancy 3 years ago. Now that I've finally broken the taboo, I leaned on Wu Leku's shoulder and drank heavily until I passed out. The next day, after sobering up, I opened my laptop. During these 3 years of trying to conceive, I ended up losing my stable job. Fang Jishu always said, "Our family is so wealthy, you just need to stay at home and be a rich wife. Why bother with a career? You have blessings but refuse to enjoy them, insisting on suffering instead." I had originally made up my mind not to let family life encroach on my career. However, since I wasn't getting pregnant, I finally listened to everyone's advice, resigned from my job, and focused on preparing for pregnancy at home. Thinking back on all this, I find it ridiculous. I followed the Fang family's every word, only to find out that Fang Jishu was busy drugging me. Who wouldn't say I'm pitiful after hearing this? I focused on polishing my resume and submitted it to major IP recruitment websites, but I accidentally came across a message posted by Fang Jishu on an American news website. He sent a document in authentic English. "My wife arrived in the new city on July 6 U.S. time, but I can't find her. Please help guide the way, provide a useful clue, and the reward is $1 million. My mom video called me. I hesitated for a moment but still answered. As soon as she saw me, she started crying. "Faye, how long are you going to keep this up? Do you think we can't find out where you are just because you ran away from home? As long as you have any connection with me or your dad, we can report it to the police and have them help locate you. With surveillance cameras everywhere now, you can't get very far. Jishu has already gone abroad to look for you. We can talk things out properly." Seeing her like this makes me really angry. I've always tried to communicate with them properly. But has anyone ever taken my needs and feelings seriously? They forced me to marry Fang Jishu, and now they want to side with the Fang family to bring me back. But I'm used to it, used to having parents with such strong controlling tendencies. She said coldly, "I am very safe now, so you don't need to worry. It's impossible for me and Fang Jishu. I've already hired a lawyer in the country to handle the divorce proceedings." My mother began to explain. Jishu's father was extremely angry. "After you left, he made him kneel outside all night. He said that if you weren't brought back, he would be kicked out of the house. As for the child Luna Chu is carrying, the Fang family has stated that even if it is born, they will not acknowledge it. Faye, our two families have always been each other's right-hand support. Let's not take things to such an extreme." The whole family joined forces to start playing the victim. I don't care how much punishment Fang Jishu received. Right now, my heart and mind are completely focused on living the life I want. I no longer want to be in an environment where people curry favor with the powerful, nor do I want to see Fang Jishu's face again. My tears welled up in my eyes, and I began to choke up before the words even left my lips. The one who did wrong is him, not me. If you're concerned about the reputation of both families, You can stop acknowledging me as a daughter of the Guan family. I am not a member of the Guan family. So you won't be embarrassed because of me. You'd better persuade the Fang family to acknowledge Luna Chu's child, because it's impossible for me to have a child for the Fang family. After I finished speaking, I hung up the phone without a moment's hesitation. I blocked the family group chat and all of them. They forced me to do it. Online, it was quickly uncovered that the person who posted that message looking for his wife was the CEO of the Fengli group. Photos of me and Fang Jishu also spread widely across the internet. The news dominated both international and domestic websites. Embarrassment has spread beyond the borders. Many people are saying, "This is the biggest drama of the year. The CEO's wife actually ran off with someone else." CEO, with all your money, you still couldn't keep your wife. The comment section is filled with dark humor. I'm too lazy to come out and respond. Fang Jishu's flight to the United States landed. And there were business partners there to pick him up, but I, because of the overwhelming news, could only hide at home and couldn't go out. When Fang Jishu came looking for me, it was a rainy day. I was fully armed and had just returned from the supermarket with Wu Le Ku. The visibility was very low on the rainy day, and since we were sharing an umbrella, we didn't see Fang Jishu clearly at all. Yet, he resolutely knocked our umbrella aside and threw a punch at Wu Le Ku. Blood slowly seeped from the corner of Wu Le Ku's mouth, blending with the rain. I pushed Fang Jishu away. "What are you trying to do? If you keep making a scene, I'm going to call the police." Fang Jishu wasn't holding an umbrella, his hair was already flattened by the rain, and his clothes were completely soaked. Raindrops rolled down his face. He wiped his face and shouted at the top of his lungs, "Fei Guan, you're still talking about calling the police. Everyone knows you're my wife. You came all the way here to find a man, and you still think you're in the right." He sneered coldly. "No wonder your heart is so hard. You've already set your sights on someone new, haven't you? Do you have any fucking idea what I've been through these past few days?" I curled my lips into a frivolous smirk. Upon landing in the United States, I was greeted by business partners who treated me to delicious food and drinks, whether it was domestic news or international news. They all concluded that I was the one who had an affair. While Fang Jishu was innocent, I did not step forward to explain a single word in my own defense, yet I was pursued with insults, and some even cursed me, saying that an unfaithful woman like me should die. Even when going out, I have to be fully armed. Sneaking around like a serious criminal, afraid to be seen, yet he, who was in the wrong in the first place, has the nerve to come after me and criticize me. "Fang Jishu, Luna Chu is pregnant. You need to take good care of her. Don't waste your energy on people who have nothing to do with you." Fang Jishu furrowed his brow and angrily grabbed my shoulders. "Fei Guan, is that even human language you're speaking?" Wu Le Ku pushed him away and shielded me behind her, yet he still wanted to throw a punch. Although Wu Le Ku is an astronomy worker, he doesn't usually engage in physical fights. However, his body is not weak. He caught the fist that Fang Jishu threw at him and took the opportunity to return the punch. Fang Jishu was humiliated and muttered, "What kind of person are you? How dare you hit me?" They wrestled in the rain, their bodies soaked through with the mud from the ground. I watched them coldly, realizing that Fang Jishu wasn't gaining even the slightest advantage. Afraid that the situation would escalate further, I tried to step in and separate them, but was struck dizzy by a sudden punch from Fang Jishu. I sat on the ground, unable to move for a long time. "Fei, honey." Fang Jishu's eyes were no longer as frantic as before, having cleared up considerably. He came over to touch me, but was shoved away by Wu Le Ku. I told Fang Jishu, "I didn't intend to be unfaithful. I had already prepared the divorce agreement for you to sign before I left, but you refused to sign it. Why is it acceptable for you to seek out your former lover during our marriage? But I cannot do the same, Fang Jishu. There isn't much affection between us. We've just been together for a long time and have grown accustomed to it. Go back home, sign the divorce agreement, and please don't bother me anymore." Wu Le Ku helped me up from the ground. My thigh was in pain from the fall, and I gritted my teeth as I walked with difficulty. Fang Jishu, however, suddenly knelt on the ground and hugged my leg. With a choked voice, he pleaded with me, "Honey, I was wrong. Please come home with me. I promise you, I will cut off the relationship with Luna Chu. And you break up with him too, okay. I dragged my legs and continued walking forward. Then he said, I don't want the child either, I just want you to come back. Let's live a good life together. I looked down at him, a layer of mist swirling in his eyes, and I couldn't tell whether what fell on his face was rain or tears. This was the first time I had seen him shed his usual coldness and show emotion like a living person. It was also the first time I had seen him cast aside his dignity and beg me so pitifully. His gaze was somewhat complex, perhaps carrying a hint of faint sincerity, but we can't go back. Not since he tricked me into taking birth control pills, passing them off as folic acid. This time, it was my turn to push him away, leaving him kneeling in the rain. I walked away without looking back. Wu Lik took me to the hospital. My leg had suffered a severe impact and was diagnosed with a bone fracture, so the doctor immobilized me and told me to go home and rest to recover from my injury. Every day when I was bored and looked down, I would see a figure kneeling down there. People passing by would take photos of him and post them online. Another wave of public opinion surged. I still went downstairs to see him. A flicker of surprise appeared in his dull eyes as he stood up and hugged me. He held me tightly. Wife, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. After all these years living together, it's not something we can just cut off. Saying we have no feelings for each other is just self-deception. I pushed him away with all my strength, forcing a bitter smile. So you're deceiving yourself. If it was just mockery, I didn't expect an answer, yet he nodded seriously, gripping my shoulders. Yes, I admit it, Fei Guan, I love you. The reason I've been deceiving myself into thinking I have no feelings for you is because I feel guilty toward Luna Chu in my heart. Now I realize, nothing is more important than you. Without you, my world has turned dark. I've never been as sad as I have been recently. Back then, my parents broke up Wu Liku and me. Fang Jishu's parents broke up him and Luna Chu, but I have to admit, Luna Chu is clever and often brings things to please the Fang family. They didn't allow Fang Jishu to be with her, but they didn't dislike her either. That's why she was so bold at her grandfather's birthday banquet, and my Wu Liku, due to work reasons, stayed in the United States. I am imprisoned at home by my parents and have no way out. Fang Jishu said he feels guilty towards Luna Chu, and I believe that. But when he says he loves me, I don't believe it at all. Love is something you can feel. This time it's my turn to beg him. Fang Jishu, please stop making a scene, okay? You've already dragged me into a terrible public opinion storm for so long. I'm begging you to stop. If you truly love me, then divorce me and set me free. Otherwise, your words of love would be the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. At that moment, Fang Jishu's phone rang. He frowned irritably. But his gaze toward me carried a hint of guilt. Just by looking at his expression, I could guess who was calling without even thinking. Fang Jishu held the phone and said, Honey, I'll prove it to you right now. He picked up the phone, and a delicate female voice came through the receiver. Ah Shu, our baby is kicking me in the belly. Do you still want this baby or not? When are you coming back? I know you went abroad to find her because of your family's relationship. But if that wretched woman doesn't know what's good for her, don't force it. You'll get divorced eventually anyway. Fang Jishu looked extremely angry. He spoke in astonishment, startling me and making me tremble. Luna Chu, I advise you to show some respect. Fei Guan is my wife. You're the one who's despicable. Let me be clear. I will arrange for someone to take you to the hospital to have the pregnancy terminated. Fei Guan and I will definitely not divorce. Don't even think about it. He was furious. After hanging up the phone, he actually called his assistant. Take Luna Chu to get an abortion. If it can't be done today, don't even think about keeping your job. So Fang Jishu's love has always been this cheap, even towards a woman he once liked. He could instantly turn his back and deny any connection. He is even more terrifying than I imagined. The moment he angrily smashed his phone, I firmly returned home, determined not to waste any more words on him. That very night, Luna Chu revealed to the media that she was carrying Fang Jishu's child but was forced by him to have an abortion. To expose him, she didn't hesitate to tarnish her own reputation by releasing an audio recording of the two of them in bed. There are also photos of the two of them together. On Valentine's Day, He took her on an overseas vacation and had a date on a luxury cruise ship. In the photo, Luna Chu is holding flowers, surrounded by jewelry gifted to her by Fang Zhishu. Fang Zhishu is kneeling on one knee, his happy smile unable to fade from his lips, and at that time, Fang Zhishu told me he was on a business trip. He also felt guilty for not being able to come home to be with me on Valentine's Day and transferred a lot of money into my account. He asked both sets of parents in the family group chat, "I'm busy with work and can't come home to be with Faye. Please help me comfort her, Mom and Dad." He gave my parents a lot of money so they could take me on vacation. When it comes to money, he has always been generous because he doesn't lack it. Although my parents returned the money to him, they were still amused and couldn't stop smiling. "Don't worry, Ashu, focus on your work, we won't treat Faye unfairly." Now I finally understand why. Even though he betrayed me first, my parents still called to tell me to prioritize the bigger picture. Fang Zhishu put on a perfect act in every way except for having no love for me, and precisely because I have to consider the reputation of both families, as well as his years of dedicated efforts toward my family. Even if it was all an act, I won't step forward to say anything bad about him. Luna Chu left a message on social media. Why do latecomers always end up on top? Fang Zhishu and I have been together since college, but ever since Fei Guan returned, everything has changed. She took him away from me. I can't accept it, and I can't give up on Fang Zhishu. I'm carrying Fang Zhishu's child. I don't think I'm wrong, but I don't understand why Ashu would reject this child. Ashu, you're being a bit too cold-hearted. Luna Chu's comment section has been completely overrun. My public opinion instantly reversed. I thought Fang Zhishu was so devoted. I almost got fooled, but you're still the other woman. Scumbag and homewrecker deserve each other. Stop dragging innocent people into this. The Fangli Group has been affected. A large number of journalists appeared at the entrance of Fangli Group, and even my family's company was overrun. On ordinary days, my dad and Fang's dad would only appear in business news. Now they are surrounding two people, asking about private matters without any restraint. This has caused both of them to frequently turn away with dark expressions and refuse interviews. Fang Zhishu was urgently recalled to handle company matters. My dad and my mom, however, rushed to the United States overnight, determined to drag me away even if they had to tie me up. I knelt on the ground, crying, "Mom, Dad, Fang Zhishu was the one at fault first. Why are you being so stubborn?" My father trembled with anger. Even if it weren't Fang Zhishu, it still couldn't be him. He pointed at Wu Leku. Even if we were to look for someone, it should be someone from a similar background. He glanced around the house, and not someone confined to such a small place. Suffering. Wu Leku's home wasn't small. It was located in the commercial center, just a standard apartment building. In my father's eyes, someone who is used to living in large villas, living in an apartment building means a noisy environment and complicated people. I know that in his heart. He sees Wu Leku as a person without any ability. My father is someone who views issues in a very superficial way, and I simply can't be bothered to explain things to him. What Wu Leku is doing is the most romantic thing in the universe. No matter how many awards and honors he has received in the industry, my father would never understand. I sneered, "Aren't you just trying to arrange a marriage for business benefits? Don't make it sound so noble. Don't say it's for my sake, it's clearly for yourselves." He slapped me across the face, the burning sting making it hard for me to open my eyes. My eyes feel very swollen. This is the first time he has hit me. I shouted hoarsely. Fang Zhishu not only cheated on me, but also fed me birth control pills for 3 years. I will have great difficulty getting pregnant in the future. Are you satisfied now? My father frowned. What did you say? I said to him word by word, for the past 3 years. Fang Zhishu has been switching the folic acid he fed me. Do you understand what I mean now? If you don't believe me, you can ask Fang Zhishu, or you can ask the doctors at the hospital. I still have diagnostic records at Central Hospital. My mother suddenly hugged me and burst into tears. After crying, I exchanged a glance with my father and then hurriedly left. They never forced me to go home again. Instead, they contacted my lawyer to help me divorce Fang Zhishu. The lawyer told me that my parents went to the Fang family and told Mr. and Mrs. Fang everything. His mother was so angry that she fainted on the spot. Fang Zhishu knelt on the ground, and his father beat him with a stick until he collapsed. Only then was he sent to the hospital. My parents seemed to have come to their senses and paid no attention to their emotional manipulation tactics. They declared, "If Zhishu divorces my daughter, we can keep the matter of you harming my daughter from being exposed to the public. If you don't get a divorce, we will have no choice but to make this incident public. Faye has been with you for so long. Even if you don't appreciate her, you should at least consider my feelings. How could you be so cruel to her? If you show no mercy, don't blame us for being merciless in return." This was the first time I had seen my parents take my side, and I couldn't help but smile with relief. The lawyer said, "Fang Zhishu has softened his stance and mentioned wanting to see you one more time." I said coldly, "No, I have nothing left to say to him." Fang Zhishu signed the divorce agreement in his hospital bed. When my parents stood before Wu Lei and me with this good news, I was so excited I nearly jumped up. My mother asked me with great excitement, "Guess what other good news we have for you?" My parents' hearts are as deep as the ocean. I've never been on the same wavelength as them. So I shook my head in a daze. My mom said, "Your dad and I are planning to retire and move in with you." I stared wide-eyed in shock, forcing a strained smile on my face. Deep down, I felt a sense of resistance. Even though my parents were all smiles, whenever they stood in front of me, I couldn't help but feel afraid. Feeling suffocated by their control, my mom said, "Just kidding, look at you. Your dad still has so much work waiting for him at the company. How could he possibly come here? We came here for vacation this time, and also to test you a bit." She fixed her gaze on Wu Leku, and I cheered as I hugged my mom. Long live mom. The Fang family seemed to be in turmoil, caught up in a whirlwind of gossip and rumors. Fang Zhishu had been in a slump for a while since his divorce. He stayed holed up at home, refusing to step outside, and ended up handing over many of the projects he had taken on to others. Luna Chu, just as Fang Zhishu used to wait for me at the door, now went to the Fang family's doorstep every day to wait for him. She spent all day begging Fang Zhishu to marry her. In the footage captured by reporters, Fang Zhishu had lost a lot of weight and, with tired eyes, pushed Luna Chu to the ground. But for some reason, not long after, news of their wedding came from the Fang family. My parents have been here for 2 months, and when they saw the good news from the Fang family, they insisted on going back to attend their wedding. Before they left, they called Wu Leku and me to their side and said, "We agree to the two of you getting married, but Xiao Wu, you must make my daughter happy. I have been waiting for this day for a long time." The day after seeing my parents off, Wu Leku and I went to get our marriage certificate. After continuous efforts to improve my health, we finally had a baby girl 3 years after getting married. The girl blinked her big eyes and looked like me. Wu Leku kissed my forehead and said, "She looks like you, beautiful wife, you've worked hard." That day, the Fang family's news once again stirred up unrest among everyone. Luna Chu only left one sentence on social media: "What you don't know is that a few years ago, Fang Zhishu emptied the medicine from the folic acid bottle and fed his wife Fei Guan birth control pills for 3 years. I saw this news and shook my head helplessly. You can't wrap fire in paper, but no matter how others judge it, I'm no longer interested." I looked at my daughter playing by herself in the crib, and my husband preparing her milk. "Honey, I want to eat spicy crayfish." He nodded. "I'll make it for you after I prepare the milk powder." Finding Wu Leku again was the best thing I have ever done in my life.